worked the BRIT Awards this weekend. Oh my gosh, the amount of juicy, exclusive tea I have from Backstage, the event. We are going to get into it in this week's episode of Press Play. By the way, this time next week, we'll be talking about how Harry Styles' Co-op Live event was. Yep, I am heading there. This weekend, I'm off to Manchester. I don't know what life is right now, but if you love the exclusive gossip, the exclusive tea, subscribe, like, follow. This is just so fun hanging out with you and bringing you all of this gossip. On that note, shall we start with Harry Styles? We'll get into like what my role was and what I did a little bit later on. But right now, shall we talk about Mr. Harry Styles? The exclusive tea on him is that he turned up about 15 minutes before he was due to go on stage. I mean, I'm guessing he probably did some sort of rehearsal a couple of days before. Although that being said, he was spotted like a couple of roads away from me when I was doing my show in Manchester, coming out of a studio, which was really cool. So I was a bit like, maybe he didn't actually rehearse at the BRIT. Also, everyone thought the outfit was going to be like super glitz, super glam. I feel like he surprised us again. I'm all here for Harry keeping us on our toes though, especially with release week. Anyways, he jumped on stage, did the most incredible performance of Aperture. I'm sure you've seen it, from the dancers to the choir. Like, everyone had goosebumps. It was incredible. He ran off stage, hugged every single one of his dancers. Like, the man's appreciation for the creatives around him is unquestionable. After that, he left. When I say I reckon Harry Styles was at the BRIT Awards for a solid 25 to 30 minutes, if that. I feel like it makes sense. There's so much noise around him right now. I didn't actually get to say hi or anything like that. I am going to his event this weekend, so I'm hoping I'll have even more Harry Styles gossip for you. I think we need to talk about Olivia Dean because she is the moment right now. She walked away with 4 BRIT Awards this year. 4 BRIT Awards. 4. Artist of the Year, which is huge for someone that has not long broken into the scene, like massive. Best Pop Act, again, huge. Song of the Year with Sam Fender's Rain Me In. I mean, incredibly beautiful. And then Album of the Year with The Art of Loving You. Like, what? I mean, I'm sure you're already so familiar with Olivia Dean's music, but if you aren't, please go and check out every single one of her songs. I recommend Dive, Baby Steps. There are so many that you could kind of go through, and each one tells a very different story. But she just looked so happy when she was posing with her BRIT Awards. I'll pop a video on the screen. Like, she genuinely looked like, you know, when you're smiling so hard, it hurts. And I think her performance was of similar energy. She just dances around that stage. She owns it. And I think for an artist that has been hustling for years and years and years and years, but probably broke into the scene properly about 18 months ago, to do that at the BRIT Awards, is jaw-dropping, is incredible. So I think her sound is that timeless that she will continue to thrive. She will continue to excel because she's generational. Kind of no matter how old you are and what age you are, you can connect with Olivia Dean. So yeah, it was really lovely when her and Sam Fender came into the winner's room backstage, and they genuinely both, it was right at the end of the show, just looked like they were having the time of their life. I mean, Sam Fender brought his entire band in, and all I'm going to say is, given it's now Tuesday, I guarantee that Sam and his band are still probably partying. Like, that is all I am going to say. They look like they had the best time. And I think also as well, being in Manchester, slightly closer to Newcastle, which is where he's from, must have been so nice. He must have had so many people there. So yeah, I think Sam Fender, Olivia Dean deserve all of their flowers. I can't wait to see what more they do this year. If they release more music, they might be like, yeah, that was fun. We'll take a minute now. But I can absolutely confirm that it genuinely meant a lot to them. Noel Gallagher was over the moon with winning Songwriter of the Year. I interviewed Mark Ronson, who has won so many BRIT Awards over the years, and talked about how, you know, it wouldn't have quite been the same for him without his major collaborations. So people like Amy Winehouse, he paid a lot of tribute to her right at the start of his career, and said that, you know, that opened so many different avenues. The bond that him and Amy had was just so special. Dua Lipa, he brought her on stage, and obviously we know they've had some major collabs. Miley Cyrus, the list goes on. And I was like, Mark, hi, my name's Lydia. I love music. I've grown up listening to you. Thank you so much for it was incredible. Robbie Williams was there. He paid tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. I can't even quite summarize the energy backstage, because I think the Brits being in Manchester this year just felt like such a huge deal. Should we talk about Somber? Somber obviously went on stage and we were all a bit like, whoa, is everything okay? What's going on? I'm not sure if you saw the moment where someone jumped on the stage, and on the back of his t-shirt, it said, Somber is a home wrecker. And we were all like, oh my gosh, this is really scary. Nope, turns out PR stunt. PR stunt. That man knows how to make an incredible record, and no wonder he's so viral on social media. I guess it's really hard in 2026 for these artists. They kind of have to be artists and then very present online as well in order to break through. And I think Somber, chef's kiss, hats off, did exactly that. Ray did a very different rendition of Where Is My Husband? That was really cool. What did you think of it? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Our main story of today in Pop Unpacked, I can imagine you're like, yeah, but Lydia, what did you actually do at the Brits? Like, can you give us a bit more tea? So I thought I'd run you through, especially if you've made it this far along in the video, my actual role and like how things work. So I'm a radio presenter for Capital, which is super cool. I do 5 till 9 at the weekends. Like, I love the radio. I love people. Like, I genuinely really love people and human connection. So I think that being a radio presenter was always something, being a presenter, communicating to people was always something I wanted to do. Anyways, so I did my shows from Manchester this weekend. Normally we do them in London. And I travelled up on the Friday, had a nice training session. I'm also from where Harry Styles is from. I'm from a place called Cheshire, which is just outside of Manchester. Well, I was born in London, but I grew up in Cheshire. So I've spent a solid 10 years of my life there growing up. So yeah, I feel really connected to the north. So that was really special. I stayed in the Hilton in Manchester, Piccadilly, which was really lovely. So I went to bed as early as I could, woke up the next morning to go and do my radio show, which was super fun. I'll pop some BTS in here as well. Broadcast from Manchester. Then went into the streets of Manchester and spoke to people about how they were feeling, about the fact that the Brits was here. Like, the energy was incredible. You know, people were saying like, it's so lovely that it's been in London, but it's so nice to have it in Manchester, where it is just such a massive music hub. And then I got to give away 2 tickets to the Brits, the final pair of tickets to the Brits. This was all with Capital and the Brits. That was incredible. I met these 2 girls, and all they had to do is guess the name of the song and the artist, and they were delighted. They were like, this isn't real, you're joking. And I was like, I'm not joking. Like, this, you are going to the BRIT Awards tonight. And they were like, oh my gosh. So that was incredible. And a really, really, really nice moment. Like, I was like, I feel really privileged to be doing this. After that, I got my glam done, which was super fun, by a lovely, lovely makeup artist called Gracie. She was incredible. She does artists like Jazzy, lots of footballers. So that was really, really cool, really, really fun. And then I headed to the Brits. I was in the winner's room for Capital. So anyone that won an award or wanting to come backstage and chat, we would interview them. We'd get all the exclusive gossip. I've mentioned some of it in this video, and you can find more on my Instagram, on YouTube as well. So check it all out. But yeah, so then that was my role there. Then we'd wrap that up, and then the next day I went back on air. So I reckon we finished at the BRIT Awards at about 1 a.m. maybe. I reckon I got back to the hotel about 2:30, and then back up for 3:30 for a 5 a.m. show. So I probably have had about 2 to 3 hours sleep over the last couple of days. But like, I mean, so fun. Just giving you an idea of what it's like, because so that you understand. But running on no sleep when you do a job like this is like so fine. You almost don't even notice it. You almost get more excited by the feeling of being alive. So it was a really, really cool weekend for the Brits, for Capital. And there's a little bit of an exclusive on how my job works as well. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of it. I'm going to keep rolling out so much exclusive content over the next couple of days. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment below. What did you think of the Brits? Did you enjoy it this year? And also, make sure you're locked in, because next week's episode will be a debrief and a press play edition on how Harry Styles' one-off show was in Manchester. I cannot wait to head back to the north for that and bring you all of the exclusive tea. Plus, the album will be out then. I will see you next week for another very special edition of Press Play.